Locations, dislocations is just a moniker I use for work that I do when I'm carrying my camera around in my pocket, whether it's here in Vancouver or when I travel to do work or travel for other reasons. There's a series of little narratives throughout the whole installation. Visual narratives, and there's clues, formal clues, and pictures play off pictures. So it's sort of a panorama that sweeps around. So the general formation of the installation or of the room here is that we start off with pictures of nature and what appears to be nature in a natural environment or untouched by human hands. But a lot of these, in fact, if not all of them, have been affected by human presence. They're not categorized by place, but place is very important. It's more looking at sort of what is common to place and to our approach to land, to landscape, to nature, to place, and how us as humans sort of interact with specific locations and elements of nature. Okay. So I'm also interested in the way we, as humans, try to quantify and qualify everything, what is termed scientific materialism. And then when I come into a gallery, I will paper down the whole floor. This whole floor was covered with brown paper, and then start laying out the photographs, mimicking the floor to the wall and using the floor to map out the wall so that I can feel which photographs play best against each other, what size works best, and what the arrangement should be. So it's like a complete shuffling, and I can't just work on one area then the next. It sort of has to be, I start roughing it out and then just all throughout like the whole wall and try to develop themes and piles and then start working. It's a very laborious process, unfortunately. So each of these pictures has a story, and I could go into each one and tell you some little background story. There is a title sheet that has a few indicators and clues that people, if they want sort of the data or the metadata behind the picture, they can get more clues as far as location, and sometimes there's a little poetic writing that goes with each picture, trying to describe what it was I'm trying to do with the pictures. I have to work aesthetically to be able to match the pictures or to have them work together formally. And then contextually, as far as the meaning goes, I try to create meaning with them, throughout. Like these little narratives that I'm trying to take riffs on. I mean, the installation is never complete in the sense that that's the final word, or that you can't add or take away more pictures. It's sort of an ongoing process and an ongoing body of work. So it's only complete for that version of the installation. So in this room, we have the 3 videos that I've made in the Okanagan, working in Kelowna, and working with First Nations peoples in the valley. And in this tape, untitled Part 4, Terra Incognita, with the IN/through, this tape was made in 2005 as part of it was commissioned by the city of Kelowna for their centennial. So I made this tape with members of the bands of the area, mostly in West Bank, but some from Okanagan Nation up in Vernon and elsewhere. And it talks about the formation of sort of the colonial policies in the area and the settlement of the area. So anyways, this piece, when they saw it the day before the screening, the city of Kelowna decommissioned it, so it became a piece that they felt they weren't ready to accept First Nations history as part of their official history. So we went ahead with the screening. So it became a very controversial videotape during that time, and the mayor wasn't re-elected after the next re-election, and part of it was due to this controversy over not accepting this film as part of their official history. So people in the community really accepted this and used it, to show their own children and then within their own families, and it was shown throughout schools, and each school got a copy. And then 2 years later, I went back and made this film, so we talked about the circumstances of the production and the reception and the decommissioning of this film. Within this film, as well as subsequent issues that I could do more in depth of dealing with issues of development and the environment and sort of health and addiction issues. So this is a 2.5-hour piece. This is a half-hour piece.